I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Very
Yeah, of
excited.
course. Thanks for coming on. All right, so the first question is really just about this team. From the outside, it's looked really good through the group stages. You have 9 points, won all three games, and you specifically featured in those matches starting in that first and third game against Ecuador and Slovakia. So, what are your impressions so far of this tournament, and how's the squad look so good?
I think this being my first time playing in a World Cup, I think it's been what I expected to be. Tough teams, tough players, a lot of passion in all the teams that we played against, and then how our team has managed to do so well so far. I think it's product of all the work we put in these last 2 years, starting I think 2021 Revelations Cup with the group was the first time they came together. Obviously, I wasn't there, but they have been putting in the work for 2 years now, and I think this is just the product of the work that's been going on behind the scenes.
And you're playing actually a cycle up, so you're 17 years old right now. You would be potentially eligible for the next U20 World Cup as well. But you've, again, like I said, you played a large part in those wins, especially against Ecuador and Slovakia. So personally, what have you made of your performances so far?
I think I started off strong against Ecuador. The good performance. Being the first game, I think it's a little bit harder since opening match. There's a lot of tension, a lot of nerves. Uh, so I think I put on a good performance, and then I think against Slovakia, I think it wasn't one of my best games. I think I was just decent, solid. I think I could have done better, and I saw that in the video. I had some like slip ups, but it happens, and you're not going to be perfect, and just keep working and striving to get better.
Would that have all felt better if that hit you had from about 30 yards out had gone in?
Yeah, probably. If I would have scored that, then I wouldn't have remembered anything else.
How did that feel coming off your foot? Did you think you hit it flush and it was going in?
Well, I was just trying to hit it on target because it was like kind of bouncing ball and pretty far from the net. Um, Usually I would sky that, like hit,
Yeah.
like 30th row in the stands. But I like really focused on getting my body over and just making sure it goes on target and there's a rebound, maybe someone can knock it back in. So
Yeah.
um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. So I want to ask you about the way that the team is set up and what role you've been playing in it, because for your club team, you might play a different way than you're playing with the national team. And national teams in general tend to go with more generic formations, but we've seen the US and in the games you started play in a 3-4-3 formation with you as one of the pivot midfielders. So what's been the driver of the changes of the formation and how have you felt in that new role?
I felt good. I think I would say in Sounders, my club, we play a similar way when we're building out like three center backs and two pivots. So that wasn't anything new when I came here. It was I already knew. And then I think just how good Mikey has been in explaining how we want to play in every phase of the game. I think he's been excellent. Trying to convey everything that he wants us to do and build out and pressing. And as a player, when you have that much clarity from a coach, it's almost like easy. Like you know what to do at every moment of the game. Obviously, there's some moments where there's uncertainty, but pretty much like as much as he can, he does his best to make it clear for us and our roles and responsibilities. So I have to give credit to Mikey for that.
Really help and the coaching staff and the players made the transition so much easier? Why does it look so seamless with the national team?
I think is we've been together for a while now. We've gotten through our ups and downs. Last camp especially, we didn't win a game, but I think we really found how we wanted to play. I think what many people didn't see, they only saw the scores, but I don't think they saw how we played. And I thought we really found how we wanted to play, and I think it's showing in this tournament. It's all product of the work that we've done and the clarity that coaches have given us.
Well, it seems like the team is hitting momentum at the right time, and teams that can get better throughout the tournament tend to be the ones that go deeper in the World Cup. So what are your expectations now going into the knockout rounds? You have a tough game against New Zealand. And I know you're going to give the classic athlete answer to this, but is there any part of you that's looking at the bracket and just seeing like what the path is to the finals in this World Cup?
Yeah, I think everyone knows, like, when you're in a tournament, you always look at the bracket. You always look at who could you possibly face, and yeah, you glance at it and you see, and you you look at your chances, and you try to focus on the next game. So that's what we're trying to do. Obviously, it's human nature to want to see what's going to happen in the future, but we know that we need to focus on our next opponent, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah. So what are you expecting from New Zealand?
I'm expecting a tough game. I think they're a lot like Slovakia. They have some big players. They're going to be very dangerous in the air, especially on corners and set pieces. So we're expecting to be very focused in those phases of the game. But I think not really worried about our opponent. Obviously, we respect them and acknowledge their strengths. But I think it's time to focus on us and what we have been doing throughout the group stage and keep that going in this game, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
And the squad is getting reinforcements. Kevin Paredes and Rokas Puksas will join the squad as well. What's it mean to get reinforcements there that can maybe bring some finishing touches to the team?
No, it's amazing that we have that luxury to bring in quality players like Rokas and Kevin, and especially the players that are already here. Like, we have such a great team. We've been able to do so well in group stage with, I think, 14 field players. So just being able to have these two come and help us is just a plus. Like, gives you more excitement to keep going. You know, they're gonna bring their energy. They haven't been here, and they're gonna be excited to play, and that will be contagious towards the team.
I mean, we see with the national team and a lot of the senior team players talk about the environment and the culture that's building. But it seems to me, talking to a lot of you guys on the U20 squad, that it's kind of similar. Like, there's a lot of best friends on the team. I heard you guys play some board games and card games every night. Like, can you put into words why the culture is so good with this squad?
I think that's something Mikey has emphasized so much since the beginning of the cycle. It's something he's really focused on, and every single camp, he really, like, first thing was he would try and make sure that the culture was there, that everyone was pushing the culture, that everyone was trying to be together as brothers, you know. And I think when it's pushed from the coach, it can only get so far. And it's something that the team has taken into account, and we've taken as far as it can go. I think now we're a team that's so unified. Like, these relationships that we have made in the national team will probably last our lives. So just the culture here is awesome. I love being here at camps. It's like a getaway from club. You know, sometimes you're not doing too well at club, or things are not going as planned, and you come here and it's just, the culture is so good, and you're just so happy to be here.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk a little bit about club and relate that back to the national team duty right now. So I want to ask you, because after your professional debut with Seattle, your manager, Brian Schmetzer, said that you reminded him of another Seattle Sounder, Christian Roldan. And we know that Christian plays about 20 different positions, and we've seen you in a few. So what is your preferred position? Is there one position where you feel like you bring the most value on the pitch?
Yeah, I think my position is the 8, box-to-box midfielder. And I mean, sometimes I'll play 6, sometimes I'll play a little bit lower. I mean, I'd say I'm an 8, but I'll play anywhere.
So we know some of the qualities, but you mentioned that usually if you try and hit a ball from 30 yards out, it goes into the 20th row. Are there any specific qualities or techniques that you're working on to try and get better?
I think something I've noticed that I'm lacking is that, like, shooting outside the box, especially as a midfielder. Something I could really improve in my game. final piece. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just something that I really haven't really worked on. In the academy, it kind of wasn't easy, but that step up from academy to first team is different, and you need to be cleaner in every way. And so, learning new techniques, especially with my coaches in Seattle, they're really trying to emphasize that. It's something I'm working on.
You mentioned the time that you get at the club. I wanted to ask you how it's been coming back from one of your first injuries that kept you out towards the end of last season. What got you through that time to come back without kind of skipping any beats?
I think the most important thing was I was able to be with my family. Being When I first came to Seattle, I was away for so long, and when I got injured, I really had no one, and the club allowed me to go home and spend time with my family. Obviously, I had to follow all the rules that they gave me, like to make sure I came back in time. But just being around my family and kind of being distracted from what I was really like suffering from was very helpful. I wasn't like sad for myself, or anything like that. I was just happy to be with my family after being away for so long. So I think that definitely helped.
I mean, you're quite a rare player in the professional space, being someone that grew up in Alaska. So can you talk a little bit about the process from being scouted in Alaska and going to Seattle? And is there a collection of players in Alaska that the U.S. is kind of missing out on by it being disconnected from the continental U.S.?
Starting off with my journey, obviously soccer was a big part of my childhood, and it continues to be my life. My parents instilled that in me since I was very young, and I was doing ODP in Alaska, and I got scouted by Sounders, and I did well in my trial. I decided to join. Everything just went step by step. I took every step I needed to take, went through every filter I needed to go through, and hard work and dedication got me through a lot, and will continue to do so. So
Yeah.
I'll be doing that, and then talking about players in Alaska and what they're missing is maybe right now, no, there's not much that U.S. is missing, because I feel the level is still a little bit lower than the lower 48. So maybe right now, no, but in the near future, maybe, because it's so disconnected and it's so and people look over the state. Maybe they will in the future, but we'll see. Hopefully there's more and more players coming out of Alaska and doing well. I know there's already some in college, and there's a goalkeeper in Portland. So
Awesome. You're someone that can motivate and be an inspiration for other kids in Alaska growing up. All right, Obed. So I'm going to go to some more speed questions from the community Discord. This first one is from Advidad. He says, you're playing up a cycle. Do you have any specific long-term goals? Is it to go to Europe? Is it to make a push for the 2026 roster? What does that look like for you?
well, I think one of my biggest goals is to play in Europe. I think it's very important not to rush it, though. I feel like I still have time to develop in the States. I think I still have more steps to take here before I'm ready to leave. But yeah, for sure, that's something I wanted to do. And then, yeah, I mean, hopefully in 2026, I'm considered for a senior team. But I think it's still very far away, and there's still a lot of steps I need to take before I'm in that consideration, since there's such top players already there right now. So we'll see.
I mean, like you said, keep doing what you're doing, take the right steps, and maybe make some magic happen.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one is from Just Josh, kind of a continuation of that. What's your dream club to play for, and who are the active players currently that you would want as kind of dream midfield partners?
That's a good question. The team that I followed ever since I was back in Alaska and was playing over there, I always followed Atletico Madrid. I don't know why. I just thought they're such an underdog team. Always, they will never be considered to do big things. I thought that was a lot like my team, like myself. Like I was always the underdog coming from Alaska. My team was always like overlooked. No one gave us a chance. Every single time we went to play out of state, teams just took us for granted. And so there was a team I really related with, and I like their grit and passion that they have, and I think that's something I have as well, is that passion and grit. So I think that would be my ideal team. And then some midfield partners I would love to play with. I don't know. I think Rodri de Ball and the Atletico team, and especially how he does in Argentina, he's like such a dog, And in Argentina, he defends Messi like if it was his wife, And I feel like he would do that for me if I was his teammate. And then I think De Bruyne, because the quality that he has and the magic he can make happen out of nowhere is crazy. So them two.
It seems that you're a student of the game a little bit. Is there a player that you kind of model yourself after, or you watch, that has maybe a similar body type and technique?
I don't know. This is a tough question because I never really looked at players that play similar like me. I thought I could never find one. I thought I was like different or something, But now I started to look at Jude Bellingham. I think something I want to, as a player, I want to try and replicate a lot. I think he has that box-to-box mentality. He has a lot of traits going forward, and then defensively he's solid. I think another one is Yunus Musa in the senior team, another box-to-box midfielder. He might be more offensive, but similar players. So them too.
Awesome. All right, there's two more. This one's from Chambers WI. Do you feel any extra pressure as a dual nat breaking into the first team for your club and playing such a large part in the U20 squad to commit to one of those countries you're eligible for earlier on?
I think right now not really, because I'm not at a point where I'm gonna play with the senior team. So right now I feel relaxed and just trying to do the best I can wherever I'm at, wherever I'm chosen. But yeah, like when the decision comes closer, then yeah, there'll obviously be pressure because you never want to make the wrong decision, but you don't know if there's a right decision either. Like you want to make everyone happy, but you can't. So I think when the time comes, there will be a lot of pressure and it'll be tough.
I won't put any pressure on you now to choose one. All right, the final question is a hypothetical, Obed. So it's a situation, you're in the 2026 World Cup squad for the USYNT. It's the final. Okay, you're about to hit a shot from 30 yards out, and it will go in, but only if you have a neck tattoo that's better than Diego Luna's. So what are you getting tattooed on you?
Oh my God. I don't think I'd ever get a tattoo, but if I was gonna score in the World Cup final to win it, I would definitely get that tattoo, and I'll probably just have a cross with my parents, both my parents' name on each side, and my last name on the bottom.
All right, you got to tell Diego that it'll beat his. All right, Obed, that's it for the questions. Do you have any last final words for anyone listening and watching this that's going to be watching you guys at 1:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow?
No, thank you for supporting us, and we'll try and do our best to get as far as we can.